Previously.
Yeah, I know, I would like to do the original Kaku too. I'm working on it. Oh, this one's already got a hole. Right. Suppose I better do the one people actually want then. Hi everybody, it's Tammy. In this video, I'll be showing you how to mod the original Konoe Akaku mask to give it a set of translucent coloured scopes. This is a follow-up to my recent video where I added a lens to the Akaku Nuva, so if you haven't seen that one yet, I recommend checking it out. This one provided more of a challenge because there are 3 different lenses to be added to the mask, and they're all fairly small. Although, contrary to what I said in my previous video, there are actually only 2 different sizes of lens needed. The top and middle 2 are the diameter of a standard LEGO bar, 3.18mm, and the bottom scope is the size of a standard LEGO stud, 4.8mm, which immediately made things more complicated as there are no appropriate translucent pieces of that diameter that I am aware of. Nonetheless, I decided to deal with that problem once I'd actually drilled the holes. Now, as I've said before, stay supervised and wear protection. I said wear protection, Tammy. Thank you. So here you'll find me drilling the first hole on the white version of the mask normally worn by Cope Parker. I want to stress the importance of starting with a small pilot hole and then working your way up with larger and larger diameter drill bits, especially when it comes to small delicate designs such as those found on this mask. I did not heed this and, like an absolute muppet, tried to go straight to the final size and ended up chewing up some of the scope. Once I got the smaller holes to the correct diameter, fitting a translucent blue bar piece was fairly easy. However, once I'd made a hole for the larger bottom lens, I had to consider what to actually put in it. It was slightly too small for a Baraki eyepiece, like I used for the Nuva version, so I decided to experiment by taking a 1x1 round plate and sawing off the stud. That's right, all 5 people who watched my Krakua video. That means we're cutting a piece. Luckily, I happen to have a knockoff brand of this piece to mutilate. You can tell it's a knockoff as it doesn't have the LEGO logo on top. So I went at it with a hacksaw blade, removing the wider base of the piece until only the stud section remained. I wedged this into the larger hole on the mask and it works okay, but because it's quite a short piece it can be knocked out fairly easily, and also the process of sawing the piece leaves white markings behind. It'll do for now. Undeterred, I decided to take these lessons and crack on with the sand blue Akaku as worn by Motoro, and this time it was done much quicker and smoother. At this point I decided to try and keep my LEGO pieces intact, for the time being anyway, and just insert the piece inverted like on the Parker Uniter mask from 2016, and honestly, whilst I'd like to make improvements in the future, I think this looks pretty good for now. Feeling confident with my process, I proceeded slightly nervously onto the gold mask, and again it worked out more or less without a hitch, and I'm quite happy with the results to that too. But wait, there's more! I also genuinely did look at how to add some flair to the great Matatu mask as worn by Toa Nuju and the Voya Nui Motorin Kazi. In this case, the hole already exists within the mask scope, so thankfully no drilling or cutting was required. For Nuju, take the head and replace the axle that normally holds the eye stalk in with an Exoforce hand claw piece thingy. Clip on a translucent antenna piece and pop the mask back on, and there you have it. With Kazi, you have to make a custom build anyway because the original model just has a socket piece for a head. So I used a Hero Factory headpiece, perpendicular connector and another translucent antenna to provide light piping to the mask scope. So here's a quick lineup showing all of the scoped and modded pieces that I've done to date. I'd be interested to hear if these videos have given you any inspiration to mod your own masks. Why not let me know down in the comments. Finally, Did you like the new funky title music? It's from the awesome Bionicle Club medley by the Thinking SJW, who has kindly allowed me to use it. Check out the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! As worn by Toa Nuju and the mature